3, the Cavalier Insider pregame show. I'm Andrew Ranspacker, joined by sports editor of the Daily Progress, John Shiflett. John is filling in for Jerry Hootie Ratcliffe, who is on assignment today. Also in news today, Virginia men's basketball picked up a commitment from New Zealand. If the two are related, I guess we'll just have to find out. So moving forward, UVA coming in at 1-1 on the season, can easily move to 2-1 this weekend. A 40-point favorite to take down the VMI Keydets. Game we played 3:30 on Saturday at Scott Stadium, and Virginia coming off of a bye. John, just kind of recap the year thus far, kind of as we expected. Knocks off a good opponent in BYU. Maybe that wasn't expected. They do pull out that win 19-16 in the rain, kind of a crazy game there. They come back the next week, and they were a heavy underdog against Oregon. They played like a heavy underdog against Oregon, losing 59-10. So to this point, coaching staff, at least from the players, they seem okay with this 1-1 start. Granted, they took their lumps against Oregon. A lot of teams are going to take their lumps against Oregon. But we look at what BYU has done post the UVA win. The Cavaliers have been feeling pretty good about themselves.
Yeah, that win's looking better by the day. BYU went and rolled Texas. They've looked really good ever since. You got to be pretty happy going 1-1 against those two opponents to start the year off. You've got a really good stretch of games coming up here: VMI, Pittsburgh, Duke, Georgia Tech, Ball State, that Virginia could be in. So going in 1-1 with those, you've got a chance to pull off a couple of wins here and maybe get yourself in a bowl conversation.
Obviously, the two sides of the ball defensively. This UVA defense against BYU was phenomenal. Like you said, how that BYU win looks better and better by the day. That defensive effort against BYU looks better and better by the day as Taysom Hill and company rolled Texas to, I think, 500 rushing yards, something like that.
Yeah.
And that went over the Longhorns. UVA really limited the Cougars offensively. Granted, weather maybe played a little bit of a role in that, but they really shut that side of the ball down. Now they come back the next week and they got torched by Oregon. But like we said, Oregon's against a lot of teams. Ask Tennessee what happened to them this past weekend. So defensively, there's good spirits there. Offensively, it's been struggles the first 2 weeks. Granted, it's been a good BYU defense, good BYU offense, good Oregon defense, good BYU defense. But this is a team that hasn't been able to stretch the field much. Only one pass over 20 yards in 2 games. That's last in the country. Other offensive categories, they are ranked well in the 100s nationally in terms of yards per game, points per game, things like that. What does this offense need to do to get going?
I think Mike London addressed this earlier this week. Having Wofford be a little more prevalent in the running game, I think, is a really good idea. You see, like Marcus Mariota at Oregon or Taj Boyd at Clemson, or Johnny Manziel at Texas A&M. Those guys bring running elements to the game. It puts more pressure on the defense. You have to account for another runner. That'll help bring up the linebackers and safeties where you can throw the football a little bit better. You can run some read option. You certainly have the personnel to do that with a Khalid Shepard, Kevin Park, Smoke Mazzell, where you could do that. That's been the biggest thing. They want to be a power running team, and they just haven't been able to run the football in the first 2 weeks. So maybe having Watford run the ball a little bit more on some read options, some stretch plays like that could open things up a little bit for Tim Smith and Darius Jennings and those guys down the field.
Yeah, David Wofford, a guy that rushed for 775 yards his senior year at Hampton High School. So certainly he has the capability to do it. Only 18 rushes for 18 yards so far this season. Now, by design, I don't think hardly any of them have been by design. So there will be an emphasis on doing, at least they're telling us that you'll see some more David Wofford design runs, some of that read option stuff, as you mentioned, John, this weekend and maybe going forward. And the other part to that is to open up that long passing game. Tim Smith is a guy who's the biggest deep threat on this team. However, he's been pretty much shut down the first 2 weeks. How much is his ability to stretch the field and others can help kind of change this offense?
It's going to be pivotal. If you can't stretch the field throwing the ball deep, defenses can kind of just move up and kind of stack the box on you and really limit that run game, which they want to do. It kind of works 2 and 2. If you're able to throw the football deep, you can run the ball and vice versa. So to be able to, for Tim Smith, kind of get behind those secondaries and get some deep balls in there and kind of loosen that defense up could certainly help get the offense out of the funk they've been in these first 2 games.
So Virginia will take on VMI this week. And just quickly, when we talk about this particular game, obviously Virginia a 40-point favorite. They're going to win, okay? I don't want to ruin the prediction segment yet, but we will predict UVA to win.
Not me.
But when you look, this game, though, do you think it's a good spot? Coming off of a bye, coming off of two pretty tough games against BYU and Oregon. This is a good spot that where you've had the bye, you've kind of tinkered with things. Now it's kind of like an experiment on Saturday, see what you can do.
Right, you can kind of go to the lab a little bit. You can kind of try things out. You can try some of that read option. You can try some more vertical passing plays, maybe some new blitz packages or defensive formations like that. And it's almost a good preface for that stretch with where you got Pittsburgh and Duke and all those teams coming up that are going to really determine how good your season is. So I think Saturday, certainly Virginia's favored heavily, but they could go out there and try some new things and really tinker a little bit and get some live game reps and see how things go.
So we predicted UVA to win, just by how much? Find out next. All right, prediction time here on the Cavalier Insider pregame show. Andrew Packer, John Shiflett. We will have a celebrity picker coming up in a few moments, so please stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this. So we already said Virginia's going to win, but just by how much is basically what we're deciding on here. I will say this. I don't have the history books in front of me. It's got to be the biggest contrast opponent to opponent in Virginia football history,
Yeah,
all right?
I would say so, yeah.
I mean, you go from the number 2 team in the country, Oregon, a national championship contender, maybe a national championship favorite, to going against a team that lost to a Division II school last week in VMI. VMI fell to North Greenville last week. That's Greenville, not to confuse with Greenville, North Carolina, where ECU is located, who put up a fight against Virginia Tech. This was North Greenville. So, obviously, UVA should have a cakewalk on Saturday. What is your score?
I say 48-7. I think the Virginia offense comes out of its funk, gets some points going. The defense has had some tough challenges with BYU and Oregon. I think they locked up VMI 48-7 victory.
Yeah, an ultimate confidence booster, I think, for Virginia as it heads into Pitt the following week to open ACC play. I'll say UVA 45 and VMI 3. So the Cavaliers get a 42-point win. So John picks UVA, I pick UVA convincing fashion. We're assuming our celebrity picker will pick UVA convincing fashion, and for that we head over the pond, I guess.
Way over the pond.
Way over a pond to international territory. We go to Auckland, New Zealand for our celebrity pick.
Greetings from down under. Sorry, Wahoo fans, for not being able to make it to this video preview, but I'm in hot pursuit of Virginia 2014 basketball recruit Jack Salt and international Twitter followers. I hope to make it back to Charlottesville for kickoff of Virginia versus VMI. I see the Cavs winning big on Saturday. Follow me on Twitter, mates, at Jerry Ratcliffe. Back to you, Andrew.
All right, thank you for our celebrity picker as the Daily Progress goes to international waters to find out all the predictions for this week's Virginia VMI game as Jerry Hootie Ratcliffe on location in Auckland, New Zealand, really expecting the Cavalier to send a boomerang VMI way. And that will do it for our Week 3 Cavalier Insider pregame show. For John Shiflett, for Whitey Reed behind the camera, of course for Jerry Hootie Ratcliffe on location. I'm Andrew Packer. We'll talk to you guys after the game.